What is the Imperial News Network?
INN serves the Star Citizen community with up-to-the-minute news.
We bring the developers and events closer to the community.
And we love Star Citizen, whether we're flying with our team or with our supporters.
Imperial News Network works hard every week to bring the verse to you.
We are the community's #1 source for all things Star Citizen.
And we're glad to have you along for the ride.
Hello, everybody. Welcome
Hello.
to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
It's just
Hello.
called the show because we don't actually have a name for this show yet.
How are we going to do this intro? I guess we never discussed how the intro.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean,
Yeah.
I usually do this, but it's technically both of our shows now.
It is. It's
smushed together into one show.
so. I'm going to start off
You
with
want-
the
yeah,
intro.
do it.
Hello to all you farmers out there, toiling away on your endeavors, knowing that you're totally superior to all those under Endeavor owners out there with their mediocre hospitals and their silly space antennae. Sure, they do science and heal the sick, but you feed them, and that, in the end, is truly the superior lot in life. Welcome to INN's brand new format for the podcast, previously known as Inside the Verse, recorded live Saturday, the 9th of January. My name is David. I am a gelatinous blob forced by the man to assume the form of a human every day, despite my wishes. Joining me today, we have CCT, half hammer, half nail, 3 parts wood, some drywall, cement, electrical, plumbing work. He's a house. CCT is a house.
Oh,
We've also got Dolvac, who once, when he was very young, about 3 weeks ago, jumped onto a ceiling fan and rode it in circles for 3 weeks. He actually just got off it about 20 minutes ago. He's probably pretty dizzy and might not be very intelligible today. It's that ceiling fan right there. You can,
we're all just so disappointed in you.
everyone's always disappointed in me. It's what I'm here for.
Yep.
Last but not least, we have Jared Disco Orlando Huckabee, who I personally believe is an immortal alien sent to Earth to steal all our souls and prepare for the coming invasion. But on the way, he's learned about the things that we humans love, like video games and fast food, and he's decided to do all he can to delay the impending invasion. So thank you, Disco. We appreciate your noble sacrifice made in humanity's best interest. And welcome, everyone, to whatever this new show ends up being called.
We're not pre-recorded anymore. That means you have to nail these every single time.
You gotta nail it. We don't got no Vince. We don't got no Vince to edit you.
I don't need editing.
Also means all the casual racism doesn't get edited out anymore.
I hate you, Dolvac.
Yeah.
I hate you.
All right, guys, welcome to the show. If you guys were not here Tuesday night, we have combined our 2 shows into one show, so it's a show. First half of the show is we'll talk about what's going on today in things. Dolvac, there's no document. Deal with it.
There was a document like earlier. Lies. Lies.
Which for the first part of the show, we're just going to talk about some stuff that's coming up in the Star Citizen space in 2016, and Disco Lando is going to just smile at us for a while because he actually knows what's coming in 2016.
But he's not going to tell us.
Nope. And then we're going to take questions. We have some pre-questioned questions, but this will probably run like RTV in that it'll be a beautiful disaster.
Yes.
Yep.
And we can't edit it out anymore. So
Nope. It's all live.
Welcome to the disaster that is Inside the Verse minus the editing. Prepare yourselves.
This is.
I kind of just want to see how long I can go without saying it.
Well, you were doing really well, but now you broke it.
He tried to do this during my interview, but I edited around it. It's true. All right.
So, let's begin.
Yeah. So 2016, Star Citizen. Things are happening. Believe it or not.
Believe it or not, I think lots of things are happening.
Yep.
So many things.
So 2.1 is probably going to come out very, very soon. Probably.
I don't know. I don't think 2.1 is going to make it this year, honestly.
It's gonna be like that one episode of ATV where they're like 1.3B is on the way. We're 50 years in development.
That was
That
a
was
good
fun
episode.
to shoot. Well, that was the April Fool's one.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll let's see. What do we have on this list? I made a list of things that 2016 should include, theoretically, maybe.
Maybe.
Let's look at it. So,
Um,
character customization.
Some of these we talked about in the last podcast because they were
Yeah.
nominated for our best short-term thing that's
Things.
coming.
Update. Yeah.
Those would be
So-
character customization.
Some level of persistence and economy and things.
Someone actually managed to wrangle, like some vague prices of items out of files the other day. It was on someone was talking about on Reddit.
It's lies. Lando says
No,
it's
it's
lies.
anything like that is we have to type something in. It's like keeping a space so that we have the code there so we can build the things that reference the code, but the numbers are going to be garbage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like the generic male shirt one. It was like 99999 UED.
Oh yeah, no, generic mail shirt 1 is fantastic. I love
pretty
it.
sexy.
It's the most expensive item in all of Star Citizen.
There's one.
Actually-
There's only one.
Yeah, generic mail shirt 1 might be like the Arena Commander shirt
Oh, okay.
at some point. I have no idea. Like I said, we're building the system. So you do a bunch of placeholders and stuff so that you make sure everything can reference what it needs to, so that you have the spots in the database so that they can make all the draw calls and stuff. But the actual content of it is all garbage right now.
It's all garbage.
All garbage. CIG's community manager says the game is all garbage.
Confirmed. Star
Confirmed.
Citizen is garbage.
I'm sorry, dude. On April Fools, we really need to go like full tabloid and just like sex scandals and everything. It'll be good.
People want to crowdfund me a beard, apparently.
My baby is part Gian. I don't know.
Sorry, I was
Yeah,
interrupting.
can we have
you.
this? Can we have a Maury show in Star Citizen? Dolvac will host it.
Oh, I'll host it. Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
So what else is supposed to come in 2016?
Nyx, maybe, possibly, probably.
Yeah,
assume-
I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
Yes, Nyx
I'd
will come in
assume-
2016.
Nyx and probably some other landing zones, planets.
Probably the rest of the system we're in right now. Stanton. That one. Since them people are working on Hurston, Microtech, and all that stuff.
Squadron 42, I believe, is supposed to come out this year.
It says so in the trailer. Yeah.
Hopefully, we will see.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
I personally, this is my pessimistic optimist soul. I think it's gonna be Q1 2017 because something's gonna go wrong. Something always goes wrong.
I think it's next week.
Yeah, it's less something going wrong and just how do you predict how long it's going to take
Right.
to build something you've never built before?
Right. Exactly.
It's just you do your best. It's especially when you're inventing a lot of new tech like Pupil to Planet and stuff like that. It's just. I mean, I would like to see Nostradamus try to predict game development.
Where did okay, so Pupil to Planet kind of
I see I
surprised
derailed you
everyone.
already.
What's that?
Yeah, I said I've derailed you already.
Yes.
Yeah, and this happens
That's
all the
okay.
time.
That's gonna happen.
And now we can't be edited, Vince. Sorry.
Pupil to Planet surprised everyone because
some
one of the
pent-up
first
rage.
things that was said a long time ago was that you guys might not ever be able to do the procedural generation and the
Yes.
Yeah, the stretch goal wasn't like we'll do this. The stretch goal was like we'll look into doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
then you give it to
it's-
the Germans.
All right. The way predicting what we can and can't do, what we will and won't do, when something will happen, when something will happen. You go back through like the beginning when the first this is what we were going to do happened. The only studio we had was Austin. Then we expand to Austin and LA, and suddenly, what we can do and what we can do starts to change. And maybe we can do this. Maybe we
Yeah,
can do
there's
that.
more hands
Plus,
on it.
when you're thinking you're only going to make 20 million versus when you're thinking, but now you realize, we're at 50 million. And then you're like, okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We can't do this at launch. Blah, blah. Then you get Manchester. And it's like, oh, now we have 3 studios, and that third studio is bigger than the first 2 studios combined. And now we have 80 million as opposed to 50 million. It's like, oh, well, maybe, all right. So then again, you start reordering and reprioritizing, and then you get Frankfurt. And Frankfurt was like, we made CryEngine. we can make CryEngine do anything. We've got a laundry list of things we always wanted CryEngine to do, and we never had the time, the money, or the person, the approval to do it. And now Chris is like, do it. so exactly. So it's like, oh, well, now we've got Austin and LA and Manchester and Frankfurt. So, and now we've got 100 million. So you start to reprioritize. Like, all right, so this is the stuff we can do. And then, then you have your third-party partners, your behavior. When you first hire behavior, you're like, okay, we don't know. You've seen their resume. We've seen some things to do. This is what we can expect. Then they work with you for a year, and you realize they're monsters. Behavior is amazing. It's like, oh, well, we can do all this other stuff now. And then Turbulent and Moon Collider. Sure, you hire Moon Collider. Oh, yeah, we can do some cool stuff with AI. It's like, all right, cool. Do your AI. We're going to have this. And then Moon Collider comes back 6 months from now, and you've got thinking people, and it's like, what? They got a decision tree that's like, oh, well, maybe we can do this now. So that's game development. You predict. It's constantly changing. It's constantly evolving. So the predictions and the timelines have to constantly change and evolve with it. Otherwise, you're not taking advantage of everything you can be doing.
How did it feel for you guys when you got people? Like, I assume you saw it, and like, how did it feel for you when you knew you were gonna be able to show it to us? And such?
So it's about 2 weeks before which live stream was it now? It's the holiday live stream, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So about 2 weeks before the holiday live stream, and our new office. I've been used to sitting next to Ben like this. Ben and I have been like this. So in the new office, he actually sits kind of behind me and behind glass doors, so we don't get to chat as much. So we start hearing this. Guys, come here. Guys, come here. Come here, guys. And you've never heard Ben yell in your life. So Alexis and I get up and we walk back, and Toast comes in from around the corner, and he's just, look at this. And we saw the 2 weeks before, we saw the very first iteration of it. It wasn't Pupil to Planet. It was the camera just started down on the planet. The camera was just pulling out so that we could see the world kind of fill in.
Yeah.
It was a very bare bones of it. And we're just looking at this and we're like, we have this now? It's like, we have this now. It's like, oh crap. And we just kind of watched it like 10 times. Like, all right. So then a week goes by, a little more than a week. We're about 4 days before the holiday live stream. And Chris, who works on the other side of the office, because community is forever unclean. And Chris crosses the entire office and comes to my desk. He's got a flash drive. He goes, put this in. And I'm like, oh, the computer. So I put in the computer. And it's like, open up the file. And he goes, everybody, come here. It's like, all right. So now Alexis and Ben comes up and he comes out of it. And now we see the first version of Pupil to Planet. And we're just like, you're just watching this, and it's pretty much what you saw, just not nearly as pretty. And I'm just like, everybody's kind of watching it, and like nobody, it's done, and nobody says a word. And I'm like, I'm not going to hug you now, Chris, but at the holiday party, when you've had a few drinks in you, you're so getting a hug. Which goes back to an old story for the CitizenCon, not last year, but 2014. There are pictures of Chris and I doing prom photos and stuff. So it's a long recurring joke between the two of us. So suffice to say, he got the hug at the holiday party. It's amazing. I love this company so much.
I do have a question for you, actually, about planetary generation stuff.
Sure, we'll save it for the Q&A section.
No, do it now.
It's your show.
As far as you're aware, with Frankfurt, how long ago did they start working on that? Like, how long has that been kind of in the works?
That I don't know. It's because we're distributed all over the world. I don't have all the visibility of what the other studios are. We have kind of like just like we do the monthly reports that we put out to you guys, which will come for December's will come early next week, probably Tuesday is what we're shooting for. But we do kind of a weekly report internally. So I see what's in those reports, and I don't always understand them, to be completely honest. I just like, all right, well, that sounds good. That sounds like a setback. That sounds good. That sounds good. I kind of get an overall, but I'm not the most technical person. But I had no idea. Until Ben called me in for that first time and said, look at this, I had no idea. So it was not even something they were talking about. I think they kind of wanted to, and again, this is just speculation. I think they kind of wanted to see if they could do it before they started talking about it.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, what we showed is the earliest version. That's not something that's going to make it into game anytime soon.
yeah.
So
this
not
is the
2016?
earliest version. Well, there's still 11 and a half months of 2016. So
Who knows?
God, so inaccurate with all of your guesses on when things come out. It's horrible. You can't know what's going to come out in 11 months from now.
He isn't Nostradamus.
well, we wanted to get no.
I'm
Nostradamus.
So one of the other things that is coming.
What are you people doing to this document?
I don't know. Was that me?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
One of the other things that's coming very soon is subsumption. So basically, it's making it so that AIs in the game have like their daily lives. They walk around, they go to work, they shop, they buy things, they get mugged, they just they do stuff. It's putting life into this game, and from Tony Z's schedule, that was like the third thing down, I want to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
The hardest thing about schedule again, the thing about scheduling is we have so many game systems.
Yeah.
And different teams are working on different systems, and it's just like ship development. When they say how long does it take to design a ship, like we're talking like the concept, it's impossible to answer because it all depends on whether you get that thing that's in Chris's brain the first time out or not. I've seen ship concepts take 2 weeks because somebody was able to describe it well enough that it matched Chris's brain and the artist was able to understand it well enough. He got the same picture when he read it that Chris had when he read it, and it came together and boom, we had a concept in 2 weeks. And then we have a ship like the Vanguard. The Vanguard took forever to design. It was because it's got so many influence, because it had so many kind of influences. It's like, well, yeah, we want hints of the P-38 Lightning, but we don't want the P-38 Lightning in space. Right, you know, we got hints of, it was all these different. It was kind of this amalgam of several World War II type, fighter planes. But then you're like, well, how much of this ship versus how much of that ship versus how much of this ship versus how much of the Aegis style guide versus how much of this just needs to look like it's 900 years from now and not in the 1940s. So it was a constant kind of battle. And then when you hit it, it was like boom, that's it. And now it's an absolute favorite. And there's a big mural. If you looked at Sandy's Facebook or you looked at my Twitter, you saw we've got a big mural of Vanguards on one of our walls now. But that was a tough birth.
Yeah.
And now it's everybody's, and now it's a favorite of everybody. And you think, well, if you got it the first time out, that would be a favorite. Not necessarily. It's just, the amount of time is not always equivalent to the quality of work. Sometimes you get it fast. Sometimes it just takes a while. And sometimes when it takes a while, it's better. It's just, so when you're designing systems, it's a lot like that. It's how long is it going to take to get the thing that Chris wants, to get the thing that Tony wants, to get the thing that Aaron wants. And so sometimes some people hit it sooner. Yeah. It's not because the other people are struggling. It's not because the other people are bad or what. It's just sometimes you're lucky that everybody's brain space just kind of clicks at the same time. So when we do an order of things like that, it's because we're looking at how well it's gone so far. But there's no telling if tomorrow, that thing that we thought was 3 out is going to click.
Yeah.
And go, oh well, that's ready before everything else. So now that comes first.
Okay.
So it's just that's part of putting because we're putting the game out in pieces
Yeah.
like this. We're building it in front of everybody. We try hard not to have a segment sitting waiting. It's like, oh, we're not going to put that out because we said that was third.
Right.
And that
Yeah.
that actually
So-
goes into one of the other things that's coming in 2016, and that's your new patching schedule.
Yes. Well, technically, the new patching schedule's in effect now. We're
Yeah.
trying to make it.
And it's
Happen.
happened already, like because 2.0 came out last month, and we're getting 2.1. It's on the PTU right now. So
Yeah, and the impossible thing with that is the new idea is to have a patch every month, and then to basically do the patch and kind of look around and see what's ready. You know, what's
Yeah.
closest to being done. That same thing before. Instead of scheduling this before this, it's now let's just see what's winning the races kind of thing and put that in. So it has
Avoid things like Star Marine.
it has the drawback of making it even harder to predict than before, though.
yeah.
Right.
Because the whole thing is designed to wait and see what's
It's honestly-
there and then put it out.
Like I think like one of the general consensuses around that system is people actually like it a lot better because then there isn't like the expectation that something is coming. And
It's not- we
instead
We
people
don't
are just like,
expect
"Oh,
Star Marine.
what's my present this month?" Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's Star Marines. Some of you watched RTV
Yep.
yesterday. When we talked about
I know.
the rooms, we talked about.
we're the ones who write.
I don't understand why anybody. I don't understand why anybody watches RTV. So I don't like to assume.
We're
Hey,
obsessive, okay? Look,
RTV
problem.
people get angry about it. It's like, this is what are they doing? They're just talking about stuff. There's no new information. I'm like, because RTV's, if we're being completely honest, RTV's not for you guys.
Information,
RTV's for us. RTV is our chance to unwind and blow some steam off for an hour a week at the end of the week, and we do it, with you guys, with the fans, so you guys can talk about your stuff, we talk about our stuff, kind of thing. It's a chance to unwind. If you're looking for information, we've got plenty of other avenues for information. RTV is our chance to hang
RTV
out.
does seem to have some of the newest information though, because it's not recorded on, say, Tuesday like ATV, right? So it's
Occasionally,
nice. It's nice, seeing you or Ben flick through emails and being like, "Oh, there will be a PTU patch today," or that's
even
what I
things
want Sharky for.
like some added clarification on things that we watched on Around the Verse. Like
Yeah.
that's important and helpful.
What was I talking about before I got distracted by RTV? I was about to say something. What was the question you just had?
Something that
Star
was
Marine.
patching.
Star Marine.
Yeah, that's it.
It goes back to the room system.
Oh
the
yeah,
rooms-
there was a
yeah,
whole
the-
thread on that today.
The room system. Remember when we talk about? I was just talking about how those were. You have an idea before you add another studio, before you add another $25 million.
Yeah.
The room system was an idea from a long time ago before we had these other studios, before we had Germany, before we had all this other money. The room system became ArcCorp.
Yeah,
It changed. It became ArcCorp. We thought that the way we were going to explore stores and the way that we were going to explore, being able to pass through different zones and to stream in, it's all this underlying technology. You don't get all of ArcCorp at once. When you go from one room to the other rooms disappear, on your computer and stuff. It streams in certain parts. So we thought the way that we were going to test and experience all that was through this room system in the hangar. Then we were like, oh, well, we could actually just build a landing zone instead. That was like the better idea. So the room system doesn't exist anymore. It's not something that's happening. We're doing it with ArcCorp. We're doing it with Port Olisar. We're doing it with Alla Crusader. That's not the same as saying the hangars aren't going to iterate. We're not going to add rooms to the hangars. We are.
I think the thing that people really wanted from the room system for the hangars was
There's
actually
more rooms for the hangar.
Well, not just more rooms, but the ability to move stuff around and decorate their hangars, right?
Yes, and that was never the room system.
Yeah.
Decorating the
think
hangar
that's-
was not the room system.
And I think that's the misunderstanding that a lot of people have. They don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will be able to decorate the hangars. That's something persistence has to come first.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'll get started. Remind me to do grabby hands when we're done here.
Okay.
You get the ability to decorate the hangar once we have persistence, because right now there's no reason to decorate your hangar if the second you log out, it all reverts.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, so there's no reason to build that system yet. So so once we get persistence, then we'll start adding all that stuff. Because again, it's building out the hangars seemed kind of counterproductive until we get persistence in. So once we get persistence in, then we'll start building out the hangars. That's basically what that is. But again, that wasn't the room system. That's what people drew up in their mind as the room system. Oh, that's about adding rooms to the hangars and stuff. And maybe even in an interview with whoever it was, whether I'm not going to say names, but at some point at that time, maybe the person who was talking thought that's what that was. So I don't know whether, it's possible, none of we're all people. We're all people. We say the wrong thing. Sometimes we get the wrong understanding of something one day and we say something and we go back and somebody's like, that's not what that was at all, dude.
There's
like,
so much
shit.
information. It's really hard to keep track of it all. So
it's entirely possible that we're at fault for giving the wrong idea of what the room system was, but that's not what the room system was. So that stuff will still happen. Whatever we thought the room system was is all stuff that's still going to happen. That's all stuff that happens post persistence. So we're gonna explore the hangar. The hangar is going to be your home. So we want you to be able to decorate your home and all that kind of stuff.
People who don't think like things aren't going to be expandable, it's not just that. It's just that like instead of just kind of like containing it
already
to one
kind
area,
of is.
It's been like because of all the ships and stuff.
Yeah.
It all expands. But like the whole game's modular at this point. It just who knows? It's that technology it's everywhere now. So
grabby hands.
Oh, grabby hands. Jesus. All right. When we showed grabby, what happens is our designers design systems. That's what they do. It does not, you come up with a system and then you kind of pass it around and then it goes through all the different studios and all the different teams and whatnot, and they talk about whether they can use it or not, and, changes they would make. It's a process, it's game development. It does not mean that because we're exploring a particular system, that system's ever going to show up in the game. Now, this is not me saying grabby hands isn't going to be in the game. Just as it's not me saying grabby hands is going to be in the game. I'm saying it's not a foregone conclusion that because we showed it in a thing, that this is going to be a thing that you're going to be able to do. It is a thing that we are exploring. It is a thing that we are working with. It's testing. Blizzard worked on Titan for 7 years.
Yeah.
And it became Overwatch. So I was saying you explore things in game development. You have to sometimes you have to try. If you're lucky, you can talk about an idea and know whether it's going to work or not when you're lucky. But most times you have to actually try an idea before you know whether it's going to work. And that's what grabby hands is. It's something we want to try.
Freaking source, even better than source level item picking up and putting down in a game like this is just madness.
Yes. Now, all that said, I think there's a pretty good chance something like either grabby hands or something like grabby hands or something better than grabby hands will come into the game.
That type of system.
But I'm just saying, exactly. It's just whether it's going to be exactly that, which is may be very different by the time we implement it. It's just saying that I don't. It's unfortunate to me when it's a double-edged sword of open development. Right. It's the reason most people don't show things at this point in development, because you don't know how much it's going to change. People get attached to it. People are like, oh, that's the thing. That's the thing I've been waiting for in a video game for 15 years. And it's like, well, that was our first idea, and we're actually not going to go with it. We're going to go with this other idea. It's like, no. And then they hate us. And it's like, so, pardon me, burped.
Which also kind of leads me to the question, Star Marine?
Oh yeah, so Star Marine's the same thing. Star Marine was this thing we thought we need to test FPS mechanics. You have to not just FPS. We call them FPS mechanics, but it really should just be FP mechanics, first person mechanics. Yeah. It's no mistake that we started using the term first person universe. Yeah. Because one of the biggest things that's going to separate us from everything is that when you fly a spaceship, you're not not controlling the spaceship. You're controlling your man controlling the spaceship. I mean, you see everything from your perspective. It's not a fake camera that we position in the absolute perfect location so that you can get the absolute perfect field of vision. It's where your man's head is going to be is where your camera is going to be, kind of thing. It is you are meant to see everything from the first person. It's the same way that we want to try to do how we want to try to do cutscenes and whatnot. We can talk about that in a minute. But we want everything to be seen from the first person. So Star Marine was to be our test bed for exploring everything first person, from locomotion, from the combined first and third person animations, all that stuff. And so you think we have these teams, this is the thing that you can do, and that's how we're going to do it. And then when we built out the Gamescom demo, we realized that we had actually, in order to demonstrate, multi-crew and stuff, we had sort of inadvertently built the first steps of the persistent universe, like ahead of time. Like, hey, we're kind of farther ahead in the persistent universe than we realized we were. Putting this multi-crew demo together. So then UK, that was mostly done. It was everybody's involved, but we led the charge with that here in LA, and then UK goes, oh, we can do some crazy ass shit with that. So UK then took it from Gamescom and just exploded it into Crusader.
Yeah,
into it.
Wasn't All-Star created in like hours or something?
I saw the email. Yeah, we need to create a space station to actually, when I say everybody worked on it, like the station from the multi-crew demo is the station that became Port All-Star. Yeah. And that station was created in the UK. And it was like, hey, we're like, hey, what are we going to do with the demo? Well, we should start on a space station. Yeah, it'd be fun to start on a space station. But we didn't want to reveal any of the Squadron 42 space stations yet. So it's like, hey, how long can it take to create space stations? And the UK guys are like, give me a day. And we're like,
you what?
And it's because what takes so long is to build the foundation of everything. It's to build everything in this modular system to make sure everything has parts that fit together in many interchangeable ways. So they've been building all these space stations for Squadron 42, but they've been building them modularly because the guys in the UK are way smarter than the guys in me, and so it's. So then, like, boom, then it might not have been a couple hours. It might have been 2 days.
Yeah.
It might have taken them 2 days. But then it's like, boom, here's a space station. And we're like, you guys been to a space station? So, yeah.
It's a lot bigger than it lets on, too. Like, there's parts of it.
It wasn't that big in the 2 days thing, but it was the first iteration of the space station. So, and then it iterates and continues to go. Yeah. So it's just... That's the virtue. It takes so long to build all the fundamentals, and then once all the that's one of the reasons we're building all the base models of the ships out before we start messing around with the variants now, because we're applying the same tenets that have worked for everything else now to our spaceship design.
Yeah,
and say build all the bases out, build all the fundamental systems out, and then we can just kit bash all the variants way faster from that once we have all the bases out. So what happened to Star Marine is that most of what Star Marine was supposed to allow us to test, we can now do in Crusader. And as Crusader begins to iterate, it'll take in more and more of Star Marine. Now, that doesn't mean Star Marine's not coming out. Star Marine will come out. The Star Marine is now in the hands of our Frankfurt people.
Oh, okay.
So because it seemed to make sense. We now have people who made an FPS.
Yeah,
so
it's
give it
called
to them.
Crisis people.
Yeah. So it just made sense. It's like we now have essentially an in-house FPS development team. So
you guys
so
hired
it
the
just
Crisis team to make.
Yeah. So again, it's one of those things. This was the plan. We were going to use Ilphonic, and Ilphonic was going to do that, and then it's at some point, you're like bong. It's like, we have an in-house FPS team, don't we?
Yeah.
So it's over there. So it will come out. It will come out. How close it will be to the things we thought it would be before, I don't know. It's again, I don't have all that. I don't have as much overview of the UK people, and most of the work right now is on Crusader and stuff like that. Yep. So, but it will come out. It will still be the intricate, intimate test bed for all the FP mechanics. Right. Not just the shooting, but for the first and third person animations and for helmet view and Yeah, for the thing, that when you unify the animations, then you get the crazy ass head bob.
Yeah.
In real life, your head moves like that, but your eyes have thousands of tiny muscles in them that compensate for it, and then your brain has a built-in program that compensates for it.
That was actually one of the criticisms of the head bob that was in the first iteration. Because they're like, in real life you don't see that because your brain compensates for that.
Exactly.
But
and the answer to that is the game's not done.
Yeah, see, that's what we've been saying forever.
You guys are facing a lot of the same problems that Arma, like the Arma guys have done, because it's essentially the same thing, but with spaceships. In Arma, your head is
they're trying to make a sim.
bound to your player's head. It's the same kind of thing, but then like you have all these issues with Arma. Like Arma's a technical nightmare.
Star Citizen's more functional than Arma.
A lot of the problems with that stem from a lot of the problems with Arma stem from like they kind of screwed themselves early on with like how everything's handled. So like it all the UI and stuff breaks if you can't change the FOV in the game, but you can change it in the files, with some INI hacks. But then like it breaks everything, and like that stuff is great, and but you have to kind of think about it for a long time.
Yeah, it just takes. When we're releasing things in the state at which they are, now.
Yeah.
So it's not the finished state. There is not the most important thing to understand. And again, you always gotta go. Is this something a community manager would normally say? Probably not. But is that there isn't a single aspect of this game that's finished.
Yeah.
Yep.
There isn't. We're in game development now. That's why most people don't put this much stuff out in alpha. It's we started putting stuff out before alpha, with all the pre alpha talk and stuff, because we're still not at that point where most game companies would be comfortable calling something an alpha and putting it out. We are, because we're not doing things like anybody else is doing it. And sometimes you go, well, nobody else is doing it like that. It's like, there's a reason. They're smarter than us. But no. But it's not. This was the promise of Star Citizen, that you would see this from beginning to end. So you're seeing things that are unfinished, that are woefully unfinished at times. But that's because we want to try to be as open as a company can be with these kind of things. Excuse me. So it's the double-edged sword is that people aren't used to seeing that. They're used to seeing things in a much more polished state. So they go, "Oh, this is crap." It's like, yes, we know it's not done. This is what we said we were going to do, and we're doing it. It's not done. It's where it is now, but it will continue to iterate, and it will continue to get better every month. And I think things do.
So I want to quickly touch. There's a few other things that should come in 2016.
Are we still on this?
Yes, we're just wrapping this up because Star Citizen Squadron 42 are now individual purchases. There should be a components overhaul, or
not right now, but they will become.
Yeah. We'll probably get the Universe Alpha, so you can take off from planet, go to space, travel to different planets, land, all that stuff. Might get connected systems. The only thing we really want to ask about, because we are running short on time before we switch to the next segment, which is questions, is
good.
The thought of
questions yet.
Yeah, we haven't even hit the questions yet. The thought of a wave 5 of concept ships.
Are you guys gonna maybe do it like a voting type system like last time, or is that just not even a?
Absolutely nothing. Nothing is set in stone yet.
Yeah. I figured
it's because we're working in game development. There's no. If we're not going, I'm going to pick a date out of thin air. This is not a date that you
lies.
should quote in. Okay?
Guys, lies.
Okay? If we decided we're going to sell Wave 5 on March 1st.
March 1st, you heard it here first.
Wave
5 starting.
We decide we're
March 1st.
not selling ships until March 1st. We don't have to lock down the way and method we're going to do it until February 28th.
Yeah.
It's the reason we do that. The reason we do that is because it seems like, well, why do you wait till last minute? It's not waiting till last minute. We have an idea now. We have a decision now. We stay open to the better idea. The thing I love most about, and this goes back to our original, the last interview we did. The thing I love most about this company is that they're not afraid of the better idea. There's never, oh, well, we said we were going to do this, but this is a better idea. Yeah, but we said we were going to do this, the less better idea. But this is the better idea. No, we said that this is the way that we're going to do it, so that's the way that we're going to do it. I don't care if there's a better idea that can be implemented in 24 hours.
And it seems like you guys have gotten some flack for that, because I mean, the
always
better idea is the persistent universe and doing the whole thing. The original idea was just, Squadron 42. That was So it's just, I love that we're not afraid of the better idea. That means you have to be flexible, because you have to be able to accept the better idea. And when I say you, I mean us. I mean, you guys can be whatever you want, but we have to be flexible to be able to move with the better idea when somebody has it. And there's no scheduling inspiration. You don't know when the better idea is going to happen. Sometimes the better idea never happens, and you ended up. Sometimes we get to February 28th, and we're like, nobody had a better idea. All right, we'll just do this thing that we thought we were going to do for the last 3 months, and that's what it is. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens. So with Wave 5, there will definitely be a Wave 5. There will definitely be a way. We're not done making spaceships. We're never going to be done making spaceships. As the game, we want this game to run for years. Exactly. We'll just add more ships, and there's no reason for us not to let people vote on them. It's awesome. There's no reason when we want to make a ship. When it's like, oh, there's a ship we want to make, we make it. The Saber. The Saber wasn't Wave 4. The Saber wasn't Wave 5. It was a ship that somebody, and I wasn't involved in that conversation, but somebody decided when they're making the game, we need a ship that does this. We decided there's a gameplay mechanic they want. We need a ship that does this. They decided to make it. So we don't have to vote for everything. Sometimes we just make something because it's what we want to make. But with Wave 5, when we do Wave 5, it will almost certainly be a vote, because I don't understand why we wouldn't. Because if there's ships we want to make that we don't have to vote on, then we just make them. Like
I guarantee you it's going to be entry-level ships for all of the big, giant monster platforms for all of those things.
That is something that we're discussing. It's just it's not locked down yet. I submitted a list of 30 some odd different variants and ship suggestions to our designers just the other day. So they take suggestions from all over, because again, you never know where the better idea is going to happen. You know who's going to come up with the great idea. So you never say, oh, well, you're not a designer, or we're not. If you have a great idea, you have a great idea. Right. So and again, one of the reasons I love this company.
We're gonna start a campaign to get Lando's idea for a death race Hornet variant.
Yes, that's in there. That's in there. I had a couple ideas. One was I don't remember what we shared before, but yeah, one was the Demolition Derby.
Yep.
It was a Demolition Derby Hornet, basically stripped of all weapons. You just stack it looks like a bunch of junkyard, scraps attached to the outside for extra armor and
it's
stuff.
The Mad Max Hornet.
It's the Mad Max Hornet meant to completely disrupt, Rickard Memorial Speedway and stuff, and just to go through and just go through people. No flying around somebody to get in front. You just go right through them, kind of thing. Just to shake races up. Just sticking with the Hornets, there was the Steel Angels Hornet. It was basically like a Blue Angels version of the Hornet. No weapons, super light, and with advanced G-force. With advanced G-force tolerated cockpit, so that you can do maneuvers that you couldn't do in any other Hornet.
I would even see a Saber
with this one, but again, no weapons and whatnot. So so it's great for aerial, for acrobatic demonstrations, for people who want to do coordinated flights and stuff. Basically, we can do air shows.
So what was that one maneuver where Crusher got put in jail?
Yeah, the forward starburst.
Yeah. We're gonna do it.
Such a nerd.
We're gonna do it.
But then
I knew it. It was it was right here.
Yeah, but then in combat situations, you would use one of these to completely confound and aggravate your enemy, because these ones would be drawing fire. You'd use Steel Angels Hornets out there to draw fire. So that your enemy is following them while the guys with weapons just come in right behind them and pick them off.
Yeah.
And stuff. So yeah. So I mean, lots of different ideas. Steel Angels Hornet. Yeah, I don't want to share the other one. Some of the ones.
So Gray Cat 6,000.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to ask for that. That was actually in my hiring contract. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm not ever allowed to ask
What?
for to do the Great 6,000 SUX. So if that's ever going to happen, that's in the hands of other people.
We'll push it. Okay, look, no, I'm saying it here first. The
We
community
got
will
it.
push
We got
that.
it. We got it.
I can't ask for it, and I can't ask other people to ask for it.
You don't
have to ask us.
You don't have to.
Don't
We'll do
even.
it.
Don't even. We got
Already
this.
done.
All right. All right.
So-
So let's move on. Question time. That's question time. I'll have a name for the segment eventually. It won't be that. I promise.
Question time.
All
And
right.
you had to do like an 8-bit intro, just like Burger Time.
Yeah. I had a trivia question in You Don't Know Jack last night about Burger Time.
Come on, grab your
And I
friends.
was very surprised that it was in You Don't Know Jack.
You don't know Jack still exists?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do like yearly
Jackbox.
iterations.
Yeah. The Jackbox Party Pack.
it's actually really good.
It actually is really, really good.
What's the other one that people use on Twitch all the time? It's in that
Quiplash.
pack. Yeah, Quiplash.
Quiplash and Fibbage and Drawful.
Yeah, somebody dragged me into. I was on Baron's thing. He dragged me into a Quiplash thing once.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Most important question that we got is what is the appropriate number of bacon strips on a cheeseburger?
Yeah, that's funny. We actually had lunch yesterday from a local place called Big Tommy's, and
That sounds like the dirtiest, nastiest.
it's a garbage
grossest
burger. It's amazing.
But
It's an
it's
amazing, just
yeah.
garbage. It's one of those things that's got 3 patties, and it's like this thick. It's just
Yeah.
squished. It's just totally cramp. Looks like somebody did a Mexican hat dance on top of it, which probably did. But
Yeah, probably did.
They're awesome, but and we've had it before. Bacon cheeseburger. That's what I ordered. It's just bacon, cheese, nothing else on a burger. And yesterday's burger had too much bacon. And I'm saying I'm biting this. I'm like, this is too much bacon. And it started this whole conversation. Like, what? We didn't plan this, folks. This is legitimate. You just asked a question. That's like, hey, there's a story from yesterday. And I'm like, there's too much bacon on this. And Justin's like, you can never have too much bacon. That's my perfect Justin impersonation. You can never have too much bacon. And I'm like, yeah, you can have too much bacon because if the bacon is, I would submit that if the bacon is crispy, you cannot have too much bacon because when you
Correct.
bite it just breaks apart in your mouth. There's no problem. But when the
Get that
bacon is
crunch.
stringy, when you have to like,
Yeah.
and then you have like an inch of bacon that you have to like bite with. It should not be difficult to take a bite out of your burger. and if your bacon is stringy, it's possible to have too much bacon. So it all depends on the type of bacon. If it's crispy bacon, just pile that thing on. Heck, if you got all crispy bacon, just forego the burger patty and just make a patty for full of bacon. But if it's stringy bacon, if it's bacon that's kind of chewy, then you can absolutely have too much bacon. So it all depends on the kind of bacon.
Does the ratio change if it's turkey bacon? Look, man.
All right, hold on. Eris, you got a free pass the rest of this episode. I love you, Eris. I hate this guy. Dvorak's on my shit list.
Dude, look.
Dvorak is the new Eris.
I'm just asking for the people who want to know. You got look.
Nobody wants to know
We
that.
Nobody
ask
wants
the
to know that
burning
question.
questions that the Star Citizen community wants to know. Okay, and
That
frankly,
wasn't in the question.
I don't
They
like
didn't
your
put that in the
attitude.
thread, Dolvac. They didn't put it in the thread.
Yes, no Star Citizen asked about turkey bacon because if they did,
I
I'd be
did.
fishing their ships right now.
You don't matter, Dolvac.
Do it. I dare you. Do it. Meanwhile, give me my wreath back.
Let's move on to another actual question.
All right.
The
All right.
I will tell you though, the best way to make a bacon cheeseburger, is that's actually the best way to make a cheeseburger. Really, is I used to do this thing. My dad was an army chef. Well, he did a lot of things, but he was a chef as well. You make the burger. You have your burger. Whatever you're going to do with your burger, that's pretty much that's a whole nother topic. But when you have the patty that you're happy with, okay. Now you get giant ass potatoes. The potatoes are like this big kind of thing, and you cut a crisp cut French fry, the same diameter as your burger. You take a crisp cut French
I'm
fry, the
with
same
you.
diameter as
I'm
your
with
burger,
you.
and you put it right on top of the burger. So you get perfect French fry in every single bite. Then when you take your bacon,
I put fries
and
on my
you
burger.
cook it. You cook your bacon. You make sure it's not stringy. You know, make sure it's crispy. But if it's stringy or whatever, you scrape your bacon. It doesn't matter, because what you do next is you dice the bacon, and you spread the bacon equally over the top of the burger so it falls within the confines of the crisp cut fry. And now with every single bite, you have equal French fry and bacon in every single bite of your burger, and you never have to fight with it. That's how you make the perfect bacon cheeseburger.
I'm hungry now.
Man,
Who puts French fries on burgers?
Get out!
Doesn't matter.
Get out.
We need to move on. Let's move on to actual questions.
Get out!
You hate me now too, don't you?
Yeah, you're back. You're off the hook, Dvorak.
yeah, I know. No, he's just being unreasonable, frankly.
Yeah.
Wait, it says Dolvac here, but in my chat it says Dvorak.
You can't
Yeah,
make
Yeah,
it fun.
get your branding right, Dolvac.
No, look, man. Listen to me, man. Okay, look.
Doesn't matter. Let's get a question.
You know, my Twitter handle's different than my username, so, you know. All right. Combustible Props asks.
Ugh, that guy.
Yeah. He just made that thing that's behind you.
Yeah.
Not Chris Hansen.
He was actually wondering if we're ever gonna get cosplay reference packs.
Sure, as soon as we have any outfit that's official.
That's true.
Basically, there's not a single finished outfit in the game yet. So it's, you know, he made the costume for the original Hanger outfit, that white one with the black with the red, whatever, and now that's nowhere to be found in the game.
Right.
Oh,
So
that's right.
what you're wearing right now, is stuff that's right now. All those different FPS costumes, none of those are final either. In fact, most of those have changed quite a lot since then. Those were things that they were developing for Star Marine, but now that Star Marine's being developed in Frankfurt, you know, who knows what's going to change. So it's nothing is final. When we have actual finalized looks, then yes, we've heard of that. We've heard I don't remember who else was doing the cosplay pack. Blizzard was doing it, wasn't it? Blizzard was doing the cosplay packs, and we thoroughly enjoy that idea. It's one of those times you see an idea and you're like, that's an idea that we would have had. It's not now, because we don't have any finalized things, but that's an idea that we would have had and we would have done, and so we have no compunction about stealing it. So we will do that.
They've even already put one out for Overwatch, and the game's not even out yet. It's crazy.
Yeah, but they've got their character
Yeah.
looks finalized.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I will say that as long as I am here, that will happen, because
Awesome.
I'll be the person who makes that happen. If I die or whatever, then it's up for fair game. But as long as I'm here,
Justin
that's
murders you in your sleep.
That won't happen.
Okay, first step. Star Citizen cosplay pack. Be Gary Oldman. From there on, you can probably figure out the rest.
Yeah, but Gary Oldman's looks not final either.
Well, I mean, pretty sure Gary Oldman.
No, actually, Gary Oldman's look has already changed somewhat. It changed his hair.
I mean,
his
physically
face.
become Gary Oldman.
Oh, you mean physically become Gary Oldman?
Yes. I mean, I'm
course.
pretty
Why
sure he
wouldn't I have
doesn't get
assumed that's what you
redesigned every other week or so. Just assuming.
That one's on me. I should have realized you were saying come actual Gary Oldman, because that's a thing that people do.
No, it is. Look, man.
All right, Eris, you're off the hook. We're back for.
Oh, no.
I'm just riding this one.
No, so many ships are getting melted at the end of this episode. It's just a matter of who. So just go back. It's like musical melting ships. Whatever we land
just-
You can take all my
I have
chips.
I have
If
the
you can just replace
most
them all
to
with
lose
reefs,
here.
I'm okay with that. Like, just replace them all.
I'm trying to be nice to Lando because I have the most to lose here.
See, he's
INN's
the bootlicker. The rest of us are at least being genuine.
INN's Idris is in my hangar.
Good point. Be good. Be good.
Yo, I'll be nice. I'll be nice. All right. One guy asked, like because you were once part of the community and now that you're behind the curtain, like, do things lose their wow factor? But I think we already talked about that with seeing the People to Planet video for the first time. You just get wowed way before all of us do.
Yeah, no, it's
Whoa, he's defocused.
defocused.
Yeah.
What happened?
Your camera just decided.
Oh,
there.
there we go. There we go.
Oh no!
Just
Oh
doing
no!
this now. Just doing this now. Here we go. I'm looking at myself. Hello.
There we go. Perfect.
Where are my teeth?
They're gone.
I have one of those mouths where you can't see my teeth, huh? What is that about? I'm not doing that on purpose. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Oh my God, it's a 5-head. Look at my 5-head.
This is great for the people who are listening to the audio version of the podcast.
Oh yeah.
For
Here we
those
go.
of you that need a play-by-play here, Disco is zooming in on his mouth, and then his forehead,
And this weird
and now
thing
his
I have-
eyes.
This weird thing I have going on with my skin right now. I don't know what that is yet. It's probably skin cancer or something. I would check that out.
Probably, yeah.
Shit just got real. No, what were we talking about? What's the question?
We're getting to a next question.
It's about you being surprised by anything now that you're behind the curtain working at CIG.
Oh, I thought
I
it
was
was like
just saying-
if it was like wearing off or something. No, it's we're doing
You
such.
just get it way
awesome-
earlier than we do.
Yeah, we're doing such awesome things. No, I was wondering why my picture looked blurry to everybody. It's because I realized that you had done a zoom in on my thing, on my face. Because that's why
Oh,
I'm blurry.
I just
So
cut
now
it.
I'm zooming in, so you can take your zoom off,
I don't have a
and I can
zoom.
be less.
It's just cut.
Don't you have a zoom?
No,
Okay.
I just took a piece that's the same shape of the
It has
window.
this.
There we go.
Just do like this from now on.
There we go.
Riveting
it's-
audio podcast right here.
Yeah.
I love working here. I don't know how anybody can not love working here. It's no, okay. That's not true. No workplace is perfect. No workplace is what everybody wants it to be. There are like we just it's gaming industry. There's plenty of turnover. Some people come in, they do their job. Their job is done in 6 months. The thing that we ask them to do, and then they leave, kind of thing.
Very
Some
similar to
people
the
are.
film stuff, like film industry.
Yeah, some people only want to build from the ground up. That's the thing that interests them. So every single project gets to a point where it's no longer creating brand new things, it's just iterating. And that just doesn't interest them. It has nothing to do with how well the workplace is or how great
Yeah.
their boss is. They only want to do ground level stuff, so they're constantly moving to ground level stuff. Some people only want to iterate. Some people only want to take something that exists and make it perfect. You know, so they avoid the stuff that they avoid the startups and they only move. So it's just so I mean that's one of the reasons why people come and go and whatnot. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to do with oh it's toxic work environment. Oh this person hates this person and sometimes it's just there are people who only like a certain scope of work and so they come into a place, they do that scope of work and then they move on and that's why you see people like there's a website.
It's almost like every workplace
ever.
Yeah.
People come and go.
Yeah, there's a website I can't remember. It's like an IMDb, but for video games. It's a place where you can see video game developers and see all the games that they work on. And that's why you see like 38-year-olds that have worked on 30 games.
Yeah.
It's like if they were a terrible employee, they wouldn't keep getting hired.
Yep.
They can go from 30 different places because there's a thing that they do for development and it's only for this particular section of development and they just keep moving on to different places to do that.
Yep.
So that was my way of saying I don't know why anybody would not want to work here, but that would be why. That would be a reason. But for me, who is all about seeing something from start to finish, and I just like the people here.
So do we.
Ben and Sandy and Alexis and Thomas. I love the people here.
That's it. Everyone else.
That's it.
Everyone else, I hate them. Awful.
Justin's all right.
Oh.
Justin's on the list,
He's not going to
All right.
see this.
Next question.
People asking questions about the Kurthok. They're not going to tell us. Why
The
would
Kurthok. Oh, the alien race?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing has been done on the Kurthok.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
There's nothing. We're in the process of figuring out who the Tavaran are right now. So and the Tavaran came way before the Kurthok. So it's not
Prowler-
a thing that
the
it's
Prowler
not
is
a thing
already
that's
my favorite
necessary. It's not a thing that's necessary at this point in development, so we haven't touched it yet.
So Splice Point in the chat was asking about players being able to integrate Twitch and RSS feeds and stuff into the game. And that reminded me that we should talk about like how are cutscenes going to be integrated into the game.
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about that and we didn't.
Yes.
Yeah, no, yeah. When we're talking about the first-person stuff, to my knowledge, and it's always important to remember that there's intention. There's the thing that we intend to do. There's a thing that goes back to the grabby hands. This is the thing we want to try to do. This is the thing we want to shoot for, and we'll see where we end up. But the thing that we want to shoot for is this first-person universe. So you're witnessing everything in Squadron 42 through the eyes of your character. So to that end, we want to avoid, whenever possible, and the story was created with this in mind. We want to avoid, whenever possible, cutscenes. So we don't ever and cuts and for what everybody else, there may be 100 people, and you ask them what a cutscene is, you might get 6 different answers out of 100 people. But for what I'm thinking of cutscenes, and for my understanding, not like I've gone around and say, hey, what do you think a cutscene is? What do you think a cutscene is? But from my understanding of what we all think cutscenes are, that's a thing where you cut away from the action, away from your character, and you see a thing going on.
I always say it's like whenever control is artificially taken away from the player.
Sure.
When it's artificially.
You cut away from your character.
If it's natural, like you can't move in this section because there's stuff happening, then yeah, that makes sense. But when it's taken away from you artificially, yeah.
Yeah. So my understanding is that we don't want to do cutscenes where you cut away. It will be the best example of this is the Gary Oldman thing, the thing that we released, the Senate speech. My understanding of this, and it could be flawed, but my understanding of this, and I don't believe this is something that we haven't said before, is that this is something that your character will watch on the monitor of a thing. It's now, again, it may not be on the monitor of the mess hall. I'm giving you the type of scenario in which you're going to see it. I don't actually know the actual.
Like in Times Square, watching on like the side of a building or something.
Yes, yeah. I don't know the actual storyline method in which you're going to see that bit. But the type of way that you'll see it is you walk into the mess hall, everybody's talking, and everybody in the mess hall is there watching a TV that's up in the corner, and that kind of thing is playing on the TV.
Yeah.
And you can ignore it if you want, or you can choose to walk up to it, and there might be a button that you might get like a use prompt that says focus on this in case you want to watch it full screen. So you hit the button and then it can come up full screen just like you were sitting at that perfect distance from your TV, kind of thing. So there might be an option for that, but the idea is we want those kinds of moments to be baked into the universe so that they never cut away from control of your character. You never lose it. Now, if it's something we really, 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 really need you to see, it might be everybody's around like, you need to watch this, or you might be sitting in a briefing. It's like you sit down in a briefing room and you're sitting in your chair with all your fellow pilots, and then they bring it up on a screen.
Yeah.
Sure, if you want to leave your briefing, you want to leave in the middle of the briefing.
I'm not looking.
Yeah, exactly. You can't make me watch. Or you want to get up and leave your briefing. I'm sure they're going to be, some kind of penalty or whatever. Your CO might be pissed if you get up and walk out of the briefing. So I don't know why you would want to not watch them, but sure you could. But if it should be within the confines of the game. It's a thing that's happening in the game. We don't want you. We don't want you to just skip ahead and have so much. Now again, that's the intention. What it ends up being. We've got some time to figure that out still, But that from my understanding, from everything I've been told, that it's supposed to be an integrated thing into the world, and you can choose not to watch. You can choose to watch it or not watch it, with the relevant consequences of doing so.
DJ Knight is wondering if it's live. It's live, DJ Knight. Okay, I just wanted to freak him out.
Uh oh.
It's live.
I'm not comfortable anymore, frankly.
It looks like a possum. Oh my god, my hair is. I swear I did not have this much gray in any of my hair when I started working here.
It's just the beard. Your hair is not as great as the beard. It's just
Actually, as it gets longer, it's getting quite. See the gray? See the gray
Yeah.
coming in?
but it's definitely not the same ratio as a beard.
So another question,
All right.
CCT.
Yeah, let me see if there are any more good ones.
We can always move on to chat because I know people in chat are itching.
We
Itching.
touched on all of that.
Itching.
DC Zanuck, we talked about most of your stuff, so
It's
you
a
get
beard
shout out.
gradient. Gradient.
Gradient.
Good job, Splice Point.
You're fired, Splice Point.
This is a question that is very specific to you, Lando. Will there be dedicated forums for each language somewhere down the line? This comes from MHORDEUXLOL.
That's a question that's actually more complicated than it sounds. We have to be able. All right, the forums are on our website.
Yep.
The forums are ostensibly the official version of our community.
Yep.
Even though our community expands to places like Reddit, expands to places like INN, but the official version of our community is essentially the forums and the community hub as it continues to iterate and whatnot. But we have to be able to moderate this.
Yeah.
Now we moderate right now through volunteer moderators. We have one, moderator on the payroll. That's Patrick out in the UK as the lead moderator. But at some point we will need more. At some point we will have to hire and whatnot. To do a foreign language version of forums on our website, we have to be able to moderate it, which means we have to have moderators that can read and speak and and moderate in that language. So and then at some point we don't want to do this language and exclude this language, and then how do you decide which languages you want to do? It's not something I'm against. It's something that we're not nearly ready to look into at this point, and that would definitely not be something. While the game is out there, while the game can be played right now, we are not live. We are not release. We are not in a release environment. These forums are development forums. It's when it comes time to launch the game, we may have an entirely, we're not there yet. So, we'll see what the forums are like then and how we want to run the forums there. The forums are run today in how we want to run them in a development style. Volunteer moderators, for as often as folks will be like, oh, they're jackbooted thugs and whatnot. I think you can get away with quite a bit on our forums, as opposed to a release as far as the forums for a release version of the game and stuff. So there would definitely not be something that we do during development. So you're not. I don't imagine that you would see foreign language versions of the forums anytime before we're ready to say Star Citizen is live.
Yeah.
And release. So after that, it's not something I'm against. It's just we have to be able to have moderators that can moderate a foreign language version of the thing. And just because somebody can speak German or can speak French doesn't mean they're qualified to be a moderator. Right. So there's a lot of factors at play, but it's not something that we're against. It's just not something that anybody should expect anytime soon.
I can use a computer. I'm qualified to design the mining system for Star Citizen.
I have yet to discover what you're qualified for, CCT.
I don't know either.
I'm sorry.
I don't know either.
That meanness was meant for Eris.
Ah.
I'm not qualified for anything. I got here by virtue of being first.
Seniority is his only qualification.
I yelled first, and I was given this position.
All right.
How well that works.
That's kind of a dumb question.
That's kind of a dumb question.
At least he didn't
Agent
read what the question
Mothman.
was.
Agent Mothman.
I like Agent Mothman.
I do
Agent
too.
Okay. What?
He always gives very grumpy answers to new people questions on the subreddit, and it makes me happy. He's actually wondering, do you guys know what the next profession deep dive is at this point?
No, I know that all the profession deep dives are pretty much done by Tony, and I know he's got working versions of several of them.
Oh,
But it's not something we ever decide. We don't just work on. We're going to do this, and then you do this one from start to finish. He's got drafts of deep dives for the deep dive is essentially we take the design document for this profession, and then we just kind of massage it into ways that are meant for people who don't have to have intricate design knowledge of all of our functions and stuff. Yeah. So we've got design documents for a variety of professions now, and it's just, again, because it goes back to we're doing the thing on March 1st. We don't have to finalize it until February 28th. These professions don't have to be finalized. Yeah. Oh yeah. Is it a leap year?
Yeah. It's 2016.
This is a leap
Lando.
year?
Yeah.
All right, we're doing something on the 29th. I don't know what it is.
All right.
We're doing something on the 29th. We're doing something on the 29th. I didn't
Confirmed.
know
Confirmed.
But
it could be nothing.
It's like, and I mean, we've done the very first profession deep dive we did was for the Starfare pilot, right? For airline pilot. Yeah, it's insane to me that was our first profession deep dive, and it's just because that's, again, when you talk, going back to that thing we talked about at the beginning, when things start to click. There's no telling what comes first. We said, hey, Tony, we need a profession for this. And Tony just went, and it just went, boom, and we're like, what? It's like, he just knew. It just clicked in his head. This is what he wanted to do. So, with other things, mercenary, bounty hunter, fighter pilot, miner, salvager, stuff like that. He's got ideas and stuff. And even when we do these design docs, it doesn't mean they're final. Just like anything else in Star Citizen, nothing is final right now. We're still in game development.
Plus,
we're still developing.
You guys kind of like to pair them with like a ship or something coming out or things like that. So,
yes, because it goes back to any time you release something in development, you run the risk of knowing that it will change, knowing that it can change. You run the risk of getting people's hopes up for this,
right? And
then it changes, and it's like it's not exactly fair to get somebody's hopes up for one thing and then it changes another. We have to balance. There's no win to it. Yeah. There's no win. So we try to balance the times that we put things that we know aren't finished out there. Mm-hmm. So like, we want to keep you guys apprised of things. We want to keep you guys involved in the in the process. At the same time, we don't want to purposely crush your heart, your hopes and dreams. We try to do that accidentally.
Okay.
There's a sound bite.
Yeah.
We try to crush your hopes and dreams accidentally.
We are now ready for questions from the general populace.
Give me questions.
As the Twitch stream catches up with them, they will start.
You don't have to ask Lando a question. But he is here, so this is your chance.
Central Park in fall.
Fire Spikes asks, what's your favorite thing in the fan cave?
I can't answer any questions from Fire Spikes.
Oh,
I'm asking. What's your favorite?
My favorite thing in the fan cave. Gonna be. Hold on, I gotta change my favorite thing. Gosh, in the fan cave has to be my original Disco Lando.
Yeah,
that's my favorite thing in the fan cave. Oh, there's a Chris Roberts director's chair right there. On the shelf there's the original physicalized Chris Roberts bobblehead. So I can grab that here.
Is that a citizen card up there?
What? No, it's this thing. It's this.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the bobblehead.
It's AAA for a constellation.
So I mean, my favorite things happen to be the things that I made happen, because I'm a gigantic egotist.
Yep.
I can tell you what's not my favorite thing. This is what's not my favorite thing. This thing here. This coaster, that's not my favorite thing.
Riveting audio podcast entertainment.
just so you know, Disco, that coaster is entirely your fault for.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Is a good one.
We just need to apologize profusely to the audio listeners only. This was the best segment for audio ever.
Yes.
Look at all these things, audio listeners. And then we don't even describe them.
Nope.
Disco is now looking at something.
Yeah, we'll actually on RTB next week, we'll do a tour of everything that's in here.
What
So that was a sneak peek.
What is that thing above Disco Lando that looks like a giant roll of duct tape?
Yeah, what is that?
Okay. I just got done saying we're going to do the tour next week.
Okay, I'm sorry. It looks like a giant roll of duct tape.
No, that is actually the premiere edition of Wing Commander 3. It came in a film tin.
Ooh, that's cool.
Fancy.
I like it.
And that's
All
the
right,
lamp up in the corner.
Questions. We should probably do questions.
Yes. Let's
Yeah.
get to those.
Hey, RTV rules apply. So put your questions in brackets, and if you have the word "when" in your question, I'm not gonna answer it. Neither will
So
Lando.
Sensi77 has a question that I'm gonna kind of work
Unless you
with
ask
here,
when
but
is lunch.
how's I think I know the answer already, but how's the game gonna mesh the Squadron 42 narrative with the open world of Star Citizen?
Chris answered that on like either the last Tenford chairman or
It
at
was
least
two ago.
touched it. Yeah, touched it.
Yeah.
Two chairman. The last 4 episodes were all filmed like on the same day. So like 3 or 4 weeks ago. So it's all because we were all going away for the holidays.
Yeah.
So we filmed, and Chris is in the UK at the moment. So we filmed them all at the same time. So they all kind of run together. To my understanding, there's no narrative connection. Star Citizen takes place sometime after Squadron 42. I don't know if it's months or years, or I don't think it's years. I don't know if it's days, weeks, or months is what I was going to, but I think it's actually several months after Squadron 42. But we won't know for certain until we all get to play Squadron 42. I actually do try to stay away from most Squadron 42 story elements because I want to experience.
So
it
did I.
Yeah, I ruined something for Eris earlier.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Was it when it was going live?
He's just
Yes,
dropping
and
spoilers while you're.
Hey, I absolutely did it on purpose. Accident. I did it
Darth
on
Vader
accident.
kills Gary Oldman.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
But yeah, there'll be a character like your character will have kind of like a log. There'll be like a log of all the high point moments in your career, kind of like a service record. So when you play, the things that you do in Squadron 42 will show up on your character's service record, provided that you're actually playing the same character and you didn't roll an alt or something like that. So, and that can even work after the fact. So if you choose not to play Squadron 42 at the very beginning, you choose to just jump into the Precision universe, Squadron 42 will act sort of like a prequel. So you can have your existing character in in Star Citizen and then go back and decide to play Squadron 42 later, and it will just add those elements as kind of like we just got a transfer of your service record finally, and here we've updated your service record with the things that you did in the past, kind of thing.
So is that kind of implying that Squadron 42 is going to be like always online or something, or will you need a connection for that?
If you want to update your service record, you would need to connect. But no, Squadron 42, again, this goes to intention. We intend Squadron 42 to be able to be played 100% offline.
Okay.
So I mean, if you've got the digital download, you'll need to connect to download it, And of course, if there are patches or whatever, you want to download your patches. But once you've got, hey, here's playable full version of Squadron 42, you should be able to take that completely offline and play it.
All right.
And then just sync up the service record changes when you want, if you want.
If you want to play Star Citizen. There's probably people out there that don't.
No, there isn't.
They're
It's one of the reasons we're separating them out.
Yep.
At some point, there are plenty of people that have no interest in playing an MMO.
They just want to play Wing Commander 6. And
there's rarely a day that goes by where I don't get somebody asking me in PM or in chat or something, hey, do we have to play Star Citizen? All I want to do is play Squadron 42. So so it's one of the reasons we're separating them out. A lot of people, it's for people, it's for, and we're gonna have more about this when the time actually comes. We'll be able to verbalize why, because I'm not involved in that conversation. That's not a thing that falls into my purview. People think I'm a marketing person. I'm not. So, but there's several reasons that they're talking about splitting it up. I just had a meeting with Sandy and Turbulent and John Erskine and everybody involved yesterday, so I know some of what's going on, but they're still working it out.
Question: do you know if 2.1 is going to be the January release, or is that still up in the air?
By virtue of us being in January, 2.1 will probably end up being the January release. I think it just depends.
Might see something to PTU, maybe.
Yeah, I haven't seen Chris since 2015. I haven't seen Chris since last year. So he's been in the UK since the holiday. So I haven't got a chance to talk to him and you can get the fully updated thing. It's really going to depend on how fast we can get 2.1 out to live. I would say that it depends on how fast 2.1 goes out to live, because it does kind of push things back. So yeah, the one patch a month thing, again, that's our intention.
Cool.
Question: what's your favorite alien race in Star Citizen?
Say Banu. Say Banu. Say Banu. Say Banu. Banu is the correct answer here. You know it in your heart. You know it in your heart.
Hey, I did a Banu 45 commercial way back in the day. Did you ever see that? No? Nobody saw that?
did.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's on the Disco Lando YouTube page. There's actually 2 different commercials, 2 or 3.
Have none of you watched Disco Lando's content?
I have a lot of it, not all of it, man.
Yeah, there's actually a video. I did like 2 or 3 different commercials, and I actually combined them into a single video one. So there's a video on my YouTube channel called Banu 45 commercials. I think they make no goddamn sense whatsoever.
Most of your
paying
content
attention
doesn't.
to Star Citizen while Disco Lando was a thing.
But I mean, right now the most developed alien race is the Vandal. So it's hard for me to pick another race that has 1/10 of the content for it that the Vandal does. I just know so much more of the Vandal. The Vandal have iterated quite a bit since you guys have seen them. Yeah. So I really can't talk about that because some of that is a bit of a spoiler. But the Vandal are very, very cool. They're going to be worthwhile nemesis.
I want a Tavaran wingman real bad. That's all I want in my life.
We mentioned yesterday in RTV that the Tavaran development is currently exploring some Egyptian motifs.
Ooh.
I think it'll be really cool if it ends up if we can do it and not have it come off like Stargate.
The Prowler is just a big Stargate.
Lando, that's a good Stargate. Thing, Lando.
No, I love Stargate. We don't want to just
rip it off.
Yeah.
But
so.
I want the Prowler to be one of those Jaffa lander ships.
No, the Prowler's just gonna be a giant sphinx. It's just gonna be a giant sphinx that just flies around space and latches onto people.
Sphinx.
Oh,
you whistled. You whistled.
Sphinx.
I'm staying out of this.
No, but for real, I'm extremely, extremely excited for the Prowler.
Yes, and remember, we're exploring
I
Egyptian.
know.
Does not mean that when the Tavaran comes out, it will have anything whatsoever to do with Egyptian themes.
Tavaran, Egyptian theme. You heard it here first.
Actually, you heard it on RTV yesterday.
You heard it here second.
Question: how important is the political rift between Earth and Terra? The questions so far aren't very good, guys. Give us something better.
Why did you ask that question then? If you knew it was bad.
I'm trying to think. Wait, actually,
I am not.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the story elements for. We're building the game systems right now, not the story elements. So questions about the story. We have to have the story for Squadron 42, but that seems like more of a question for the persistent universe. And for the persistent universe, we're still building the damn thing. So
How far has Terra come, actually? Because we were shown a tiny bit of Terra a long time ago.
We saw like a little bit something recently, didn't we?
Well, I can tell you, and this is that this set that we've built back here, this is one of 3
Whoa.
that exist here in this thing. Right now, the other 2 sets are built. They're functioning. If you saw my Twitter drone video, or said you see there's another set directly behind this. It is empty right now, but we just finalized the artwork yesterday. That set will be for the HTV hosting, so that we don't have to use the set was meant for one thing, for me. And everybody else in the company has used it because I did too good. I made it too cool. So I'm anxious to get the other sets done. So we don't want to just have the same background for everything. That was the whole idea behind having 3 sets. The other set will be Terra. It will be a full-size look out at the skyline of Terra. So as it exists right now. So you may see a sneak peek of that in the monthly report on Tuesday-ish.
Okay.
Tuesday-ish. So you'll get to see it there.
Are we actually going to summarize that thing?
Yes.
David?
Yes, we are. We summarized the last one.
We did?
The last 2. Yes.
Oh, the monthly report?
We forgot for a few months because they're monsters. They're monsters.
They're hard. They're hard to deal with, man.
By putting them together.
Sunjammer has been doing it almost entirely himself. So
Too much
Sunjammer.
information to process, man.
Yeah, I did. Usually the monthly reports are a team effort, not just from the people who are submitting them, but putting together. It's probably 70% Ben, 20% me, and 10% Toast. Toast actually goes through and makes sure we're not, saying something illegal, kind of whatever. There was a monthly report I did back when I think Ben was at Dragon Con where I had to do like 90% of it, and it almost killed me. So I was like, hey, Ben, you want to come back and do the monthly report? So,
trying to get through them and summarize them every month kind of kills INN.
It's
well,
scary,
we could put out less information.
Please don't.
No.
Please
That's
don't.
what I said.
No.
That's what I said. I was like,
No.
We had
More.
BBC Click here yesterday doing interviews, and the guy, you should have seen the guy. Who was like, we told him, like, yeah, we put out a Monday. We put out an informational video with the actual chairman of the company where it takes questions directly from our fans. On Tuesdays, we used to do the Meet the Devs, which was just talk about who the person is. It was nothing. It was getting to meet the devs. It wasn't talk about Star Citizen. It was Meet the Devs. And people were like, why aren't they talking about Star Citizen? And we're like, because it's Meet the Devs. It's not talk about Star Citizen. But we canceled that, and it's actually going to become a gameplay focused. That's what the 3rd set is for. It's just we need some breathing time to get that going off the ground. But it's going to become a gameplay segment where you watch the devs actually play the game. It's kind of like when we see gameplay streamers like Baron or WTF or Domo or whatever. But it'll actually be us, and we'll be talking about the game and what goes into why we did this and why we did that as we play it.
Sounds like it just segment.
Yeah, we just have to. There just has to be more of me. I just have to get around it. Wednesday we do a bi-weekly, Bug Smashers, and the guy's eyes are just going to say, yeah, we actually show a guy fixing the game, and that's compelling television for weird people.
Tens of thousands of people watch that thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Okay.
Then
Bug Smashers is actually really easy to transcribe. For some reason, that guy, he speaks really clearly.
Yeah, and then ATV, where we put an English guy and a French guy in a room for 30 minutes and have them and kill the people trying to transcribe it.
Can I just tell you that was 19 pages of transcription?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
19 pages. It took us like 2 hours.
Yeah, it wasn't the most compelling segment, but I knew it would hurt INN, so I did it. And then Friday we do Reverse the Verse. So it's like you put out a show every day of the week, and I was just like, yes. In addition to everything else I have to do, so So yeah, we put out a lot of stuff. I'm proud of that. It does constantly weather and beat your soul. But like I said, all the gray hair that's showing up now.
Well, Lando, we're grateful.
We are.
I'd like to find a picture of me from like April and see if there's not nearly this gray.
Just find one of those reverse the verses.
Yeah.
Just zoom in.
But I guess I just gotta look at the first Wonderful World. That was
Oh, yeah.
The first Wonderful World was like 3 days before I started working here. That's what got me the job. So let's see what I look like there. Not nearly this much gray.
All right, guys, we have reached the end.
What?
Yep. It's a 90-minute show. It's time. We must
It is.
put this
You can come back
mad
next
train.
week if you want, Disco.
Don't listen to Eris.
Yeah, Disco.
He
I'm
only
actually
lies to you.
I'm looking at this. You straight up are. Nah, you like even in the first episode 1, the gray's still there.
Well, it had many colors. It wasn't just gray. It was like browns and there were like tans.
It looks like exactly the same.
Well, maybe I just don't look at myself enough. I got 14 hours sleep last night. And I still have bags.
Check that out.
I went to sleep at 7 o'clock. I went to sleep at 7 p.m. last night.
You just didn't have the Jesus hair.
Where did you put that link?
I put it in
Skype.
Twitch and I put it in
Oh.
Skype.
Skype.
I put both.
Oh, that's a good-looking dude right there. Who's that guy?
Oh.
That was filmed
Handsome.
in my living room.
All right, guys. Thank you so much to all 93 of you that came to hang out on our little show we got here. If you guys missed part of the show, recording will be up Monday in video and audio format. Again, sorry, audio listeners, for large portions of the show being.
Hey, look at
video
this. Hey,
specific.
look at that. This Galando hates blind people.
Lando, thank you for kicking off our new, improved, that's subjective, show.
It's different.
It's
not
different
go there.
show.
Yeah.
And thank all of you for asking questions, even though some of them were terrible. I'm not going to say which ones, but some of them were.
All of them. All of them terrible.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
What do we got coming up this week on the INN? We have to have housekeeping.
We do have to have housekeeping.
We
Monday.
we have this.
This will
We
go
have
up.
this.
Tuesday.
Do you know
we'll
what?
probably-
Can you leak us what 10 for the blank it is on Monday? Is it Chairman?
Can you leak us?
Yes.
Just make a leak joke?
It was.
You're asking something of me, and you phrased it in a leak joke.
Excuse me, Red
The most
One.
tired joke there is.
It's not more tired than Red One.
What's leaking today? No, it's more tired than Red
Really?
One.
Do people still make that joke? I didn't even realize that I was making that
Yes.
joke.
Yes.
We talked about that earlier. You missed it.
Well, I miss everything.
Yes, I'm the meat shield for CIG. I'll take the fall for the leak, although it wasn't my fault, and I'll take the fall for Red One, although I was the guy who fixed it. It's all right. It's all right. I'm the bullet. I'm the bullet shield for CIG.
Not bitter.
It's
Not
cool.
bitter, right?
I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all. Can I leak what 10 for? It will be. What day is this? This is Saturday. What was this week's? What was last week's? It was 10 for the chairman.
It was
Yep.
Chairman.
It's 10 for the developers 2.
Cool.
Okay, yeah.
We really liked 10 for the developers.
Yeah, I like that one too.
We like combining. So I think we're gonna, as long as the people are available, we're gonna try to keep it 10 for the developers as opposed to going through
okay.
writers, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to keep
I
that
like those
being
round
sub show.
tables. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still gonna do 10 for the chairman, but I mean, when Chris isn't available, we're gonna try to keep it as developers instead of go through writers and everything.
Cool.
Again, that's the intention.
Might not happen.
And we all know what the best intentions lead. into a conversation with Eris.
The heat death of the universe. Both are they're really the same thing.
What did I ever do to
Tuesday?
make you hate me so?
Tuesday we don't have Inverse, but we might stream something.
We might.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Tuesday we might also have an article from Kara. He's still working on that.
We forgot that it's Saturday, so tomorrow is Sunday. Tomorrow, new episode of the Endeavor fiction series by Eris.
Yep.
Wednesday, another piece of fiction by Props. Don't know what it is because that's how it works.
There'll be a Bug Smashers on Wednesday.
Bug Smashers also
too.
on Wednesday.
Excellent.
Thursday, Friday,
ATV.
ATV, RTV, you know the drill. And Saturday, come on right back here for another episode of whatever this show is called. If you know what? I'm putting this out there right now. If you have a really good name for our show that is not an INN pun, I will give you a Merlin.
Lando's Angels.
No. No Merlin for you, Lando.
No.
Will give me a Merlin.
Where's Dolbach's wreath?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think I have a. Do I have a Merlin? I have a Merlin that came with my.
Do you have Constellation?
No, I upgraded my Connie to a Phoenix, so I have. I don't think I have a Merlin.
I don't have a Merlin either, actually.
What?
I have a.
What's wrong
I have
with
an
you people?
I have a Phoenix
I think
too.
I have a Merlin. I don't have every ship in the game.
I think I have an.
All right.
I don't have an Idris
Come on
or a
back.
Javelin.
This will be right here, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific. Recordings will be up on iTunes, Stitcher, the SoundCloud, YouTube, all those things. If you think of another platform that you want that isn't RSS based, let us know. Lando's gone. He left. Goodbye, everybody.
Oh.
Did we win?
You won.
Hooray!
Yes. Whoever picks a name, picks a name, I'll send you a picture of this. There you go.
A photocopy.
Yeah, so message me on Reddit, on Twitter, or on Twitch with your name ideas. If you come up with a good one and we like it, you'll get a Merlin. Guys, thank you so much. Come back next week.
Or don't.
Or don't. We don't really care. We'll do it anyway.
See you in the verse.
See you in the verse. Goodbye.